For those of you who've read The Anniversary Man and all earlier books, and I know there's a few of you, the next book, the book that's due out in 2010, the autumn of 2010, is a book entitled The Saints of New York. That's its title. And The Saints of New York is again a contemporary thriller set in New York. It does have, to a degree, a historical background, which is the Organised Crime Control Bureau and the Brooklyn Organised Crime Task Force, organisations that were established during the 1970s and 1980s to get the mafia out of New York. The central character's father, also a policeman himself, was involved in both the Brooklyn Organised Crime Task Force and the OCCB, and was instrumental was involved to a marked degree in some of the activities that were being perpetrated by the mafia in the sort of previous 20, 30 years. Our central character, who is a police detective, is somewhat of an obsessive. He has an alcohol problem. He's gotten himself into trouble. He's had his driver's license taken off of him. He's been assigned a younger partner who has to drive him everywhere because he's not allowed to drive himself. And he has, issues. He's got to see a police department counsellor daily to work out some of his issues, and so some of the book deals with that. But fundamentally, the story is to do with the kidnap and murder of teenage girls, to do with the sex industry. Girls that were kidnapped and then basically employed in the sex industry for very short periods of time and then murdered, essentially because they're evidence and because they can give evidence against the people that perpetrated their kidnap. And it's about this police detective who becomes obsessed, absolutely obsessed, to an overwhelming degree, to finding the truth of this, and he focuses his attention on one character. And for a great percentage of the book, we as readers are convinced that the character that he's focused his attention on is actually not the perpetrator of these crimes. Whether or not that's the case is the denouement of the book, so you'll have to read it. But that's The Saints of New York, and that comes out in autumn of 2010.